All right, we'll call to order this City Council regular meeting agenda for Monday, July the 28th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. If you'll, those who can, rise with us. We are going to be led in an invocation by Mayor Pro Tem Byram, followed by the pledges from Scout Troop 446. If I can get our Scout Troop to come on down, those are going to lead in our pledges. All right, you ready? So we have the flags right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
There you go. Great job. In fact, we have a group of scouts in the back. They're going to stay with us tonight. They are working on their communications bag, so you can be seated. I'm going to do, Madam Secretary, we'll move forward in our agenda. I'm staying down here because we have an item right behind it. Certify that we have a quorum present as all members are present and accounted for. If I can get our communications team down front. So from time to time, we have departments within our city that do certain things and get recognized statewide. They get recognized either through a peer group or through some state agency. And so, Josh, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about what these two awards, what we received them for, and a little bit about your group.
Sure. So I'm Josh Lee. I'm the Director of Communications for the city. We are responsible for all of the internal and external communications from the official organization. And these awards specifically come from the Texas Association of Municipal Information Officers, which is a group of municipal communicators from around the state. And the awards, in this case, we do ratings in a number of different areas, from print publications to coverage of events to websites and things of that nature. The two awards that we brought home this year, one is for the most creative use with the least amount of dollars invested, which is actually an award that we created to celebrate our most valuable Pearlander and our employee of the year. Instead of spending thousands of dollars having an award manufacturer, we spent about $150 and made it in-house. And it came out really nice, and it's made with love right here with our own team. And then the other award that we brought home was a virtual tour that we did for our brand new surface water treatment plant. We did that virtual tour because it's a federally regulated facility and we can't just let everybody through the gate. And so we wanted to give everybody the experience with the full scope and capacity of what $170 million looks like on the ground and what it's capable of. And we submitted that award because we were really proud of that work. We got a lot of good feedback, and we brought home the award for that as well.
Very good. Absolutely. Thank y'all for indulging us that for just a minute. So moving forward in our agenda, we have citizens' comments. We have several people who did sign up to speak, some who are asking to speak on specific items later in our agenda. We do have several that are general comments. we are going to have a special performance for everyone in our chambers tonight. So, Mayor Pro Tem, if you'll introduce them and what they do next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, so we will have the team from Forgotten Angels that's going to do a bell performance for us this evening. So you guys have 5 minutes and take it away.
For you, it's our signature song. I love to see you smile.
Oh,
We hope that you enjoy it.
Hope you drop. Let's go. Come on. We have gotten disconnected. I've lost mine.
Hey, Josh, could we talk on them? Okay.
We're going to try that again. My apologies.
All good.
We're
No
still going to
pressure.
finish on time.
That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Our folks at Forgotten Angels do a tremendous, tremendous ministry and job with these adults each and every day. And Renee has a great story and all of that. But 24 years later, it's a great opportunity to see the love and care that's given to these individuals every day. So thank y'all for sharing that with us today. It was a highlight. Absolutely. Next up, we'll give them a few minutes, or they'll go ahead and collect their bills. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know how you're going to follow that, but that was great. Thank y'all for sharing. Miss Victoria Forsberg. You would make your way to the podium and state your name for the record, and you have, she's representing Avalon Terrace.
Hang on, so why don't we,
It looks like they're going to make their way out.
why don't we just sit
Yeah.
2 minutes
Yeah.
as they make their way out?
Yeah.
We'll just do. We can give her 5. We can ask our scouts. We got room right up front now. They want to come down here and sit.
Look at them rapidly run to the front.
Yep. Well, we
No.
there we go.
Miss Victoria, you are representing Avalon Terrace this evening, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you'll have 5 minutes. So,
I don't need 5 minutes, but
no worries.
thank you. Are you ready for me now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Mayor Cole, council members, city staff, and everyone in attendance tonight. I am speaking on behalf of Avalon Terrace for the Board of Directors. I serve as Vice President. We want to express our sincere appreciation to the City of Pearland for the continued investment in our neighborhood. The sidewalk repairs currently underway are a clear and tangible sign of the city's commitment to improving safety, accessibility, and quality of life in our community. Tonight, we respectfully ask for your support on consent agenda item D, which represents the next step in that journey. A funding agreement that would allow us to replace the aging perimeter fencing along the HOA maintained green spaces throughout Avalon Terrace. This project has been a top priority for our community for years, and this agreement would finally make it possible to move forward. We fully recognize the city's responsibility to balance long-term financial stewardship and the needs of individual neighborhoods. This proposed partnership is a thoughtful, one-time opportunity made possible by the dissolution of MUD 16 and the annexation of Avalon Terrace into the city January 1st, 2025. It's not just a financial decision, it's a show of trust, collaboration, and commitment to a neighborhood that is working hard to restore the value after years of deferred maintenance. If approved, this support will allow us to launch an 8-phase project beginning in August. It will enable the HOA to stretch our limited reserves, improve safety and appearance, and send a message to residents that reinvestment is happening, not just in infrastructure, but in the future of our community. We deeply value the time and effort of the Director of External Affairs, Joel Hardy, City Attorney Darren Coker, City Manager Trent Epperson, Mayor Cole, council members, and city staff who have walked alongside us to get to this point. Your support will help us take a meaningful step toward restoring not just fences and sidewalks, but pride, connection, and confidence in Avalon Terrace. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
And,
Victoria. Yeah.
We have one other, Mr. John Jackson. You'll make your way to the podium, and you have 3 minutes. State your name for the record.
John Jackson. Good evening, Mayor, Cole, and Council. Tonight I'm here to speak as a retired fire and life safety project manager with many years of experience in building and fire codes, also as a citizen in Pearland. I'm here to gain some assurance that a very serious building fire code deficiency is being addressed in next year's budget. Deficiency in question is the lack of an emergency voice alarm communication evac system in the Pearland Rec Center. This system is an extension of the building fire alarm system. Assembly occupancies, as stated in Chapter 9 of the International Building and Fire Code, states, having the capacity to accommodate an occupant load of 1,000 or more requires a system. This requirement is found in the 2003 edition of the International Building Code, which is the design code used for the Pearland Rec Center when it was constructed. Both the International Building and Fire Codes are updated and reissued on a 3-year cycle. The current edition is 2024. The evac requirement has remained in each code cycle with minor modifications. It's worth noting the City of Pearland's ordinance amended this requirement by reducing the capacity from 1,000 people or more to 300 people or more. In addition, stating it applies to both new and existing buildings. In late 2024, a significant portion of the fire alarm system was replaced at the rec center. The scope included replacement of the main control panel, the remote panel, all of the smoke, heat, and duct detectors, manual pull stations, and additional items. The evac system was not addressed in the project scope or addressed in city staff review comments. In fact, no technical design comments were provided by staff, only general comments. I've attached that information for your review. What is an emergency voice evac communication system? A fire alarm system that not only activates notification devices, but also provides pre-recorded or live voice communication messages to guide occupants how to safely evacuate or respond to emergency both inside and outside the building, such as fire, severe weather, loss of power, or an active shooter event, as a few examples. As a reference, I have provided a picture of the evac panel at the City of League City's Hometown Hero Recreation Center. How does it work? In a fire alarm event, typical alert tones are sounded, followed by pre-recorded custom instructions that allow how to respond to an event like evacuating the building. In addition, the system provides the ability to deliver live messages by voice, or live messages by staff during fire alarm and non-fire alarm emergency events. In closing, the rec center is a state-of-the-art facility used by many people, some elderly citizens with mobility disabilities, children of all ages, Pearland ISD, and outside folks hosting large events throughout parts of the facility. Having a code-compliant facility that ensures the safety of all users is vital. The senior leadership of Ms. Capers and Mr. Carter are nothing but professional. They are two outstanding employees. I don't view their role as being subject matter experts when it comes to life safety, nor should they be expected to identify life safety. I hope the City of Pearland understands the risk and addresses this code deficiency in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Duly noted, and I'm sure we'll get a follow-up from staff on some of this as well, but I appreciate your time and effort in that. Thank you. All right, moving forward in our agenda to consent agenda. I don't believe any items were being pulled today. So, Mr. Koza, would you please present consent agenda items A through M, please?
And Mayor, if I could, after the recent public comments, remove item H.
Oh, okay, sure.
Thank you.
All right. So A through M,
Yeah.
with the exception of H. Okay.
All right, consideration possible action consent agenda items A through M with the exception of H. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary will call for the vote.
Member Cosa?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, we'll circle back. Mr. Koza, if you'll put item H on the floor, please.
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration and possible action resolution number R 2025-116. So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a contract to provide fire alarm monitoring as well as fire safety inspections to all of our facilities throughout the city, and then also fire alarm repair services where those are necessary. So this went through a evaluation process where we looked at multiple cooperatives as well as multiple vendors, and the recommendation is to award to Firetron. They've been our contractor in the past, so they've done good work, and so we recommend awarding to Firetron in the estimated amount of $151,325. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, back to Mr. Carbone.
Thank you, Mayor. Normally, we have public comment. We say we can't talk about it because there's nothing on the agenda. Tonight, you lucked out or timed it well. So I guess relating to this item, it says in the contract, and was it inspection? Yeah, safety inspection. Would it pick up on items that were discussed in public comment?
I assume it would, and then we can also consult with our fire marshal as far as ensuring we have that done properly and correctly. And then my understanding is that we do have a quote from our vendor to do the enunciation system.
Okay. And it doesn't have to be tonight, but at some point, I'd like to know how we got there, because I've got to think that if any business in town tried to do that, we would probably wouldn't give them a CO the first go round, and then after these major repairs, maybe not have let them back in the second time. So
Sure. So I think we look into those repairs. I do know the building went through building inspections as well as plan review and final inspections when it was built. So I don't know that I can figure out what happened at that point, but we can definitely look into the most recent work, and it may have been identified, and that's why we got a quote for it now at this point.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Koza.
Aye.
Member Carbone.
Aye.
Member Chavadilla.
Aye.
Member Cade.
Aye.
Member Fernandez.
Aye.
Member Patel.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram.
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, we'll move forward. It's my understanding public hearing number 1 has been pulled to a future agenda. It is about our community development block grant opportunities. We do have public comment period open. Joel, when does that public comment period close?
I believe this week.
Okay. So if you have comments on that, we still can take in those comments and would love to have those comments. But it looks like we'll have our public hearing in August.
Yes, sir, before the action item on the 11th.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So moving to public hearing number 2, I've got Katya here tonight who's going to read into the record the reason for our public hearing and then move right into staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is a request by Nick Monametti, applicant on behalf of 24 AC Pearland Parkway, LLC, owner, for approval of a zone change for 3.2816 acres of land from single-family residential 1 to general business district, generally located on the east side of Pearland Parkway, north of John Lizer Road. The applicant's request is to rezone the 3.2816 acre portion to allow for 8.84 acre tract of land fronting on Pearland Parkway to be zoned to general business. The remaining acreage zoned single-family residential 1 is not being changed with this request. During the public comment phase, we received 1 speaker in opposition to the request during the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on July 7th. This is the first image that you're seeing of the property. This is the zoning and aerial map on the right side of the screen. The surrounding areas include large lot single-family residences, undeveloped land, a single-family subdivision, Independence Park, and Mary's Creek. Per the comprehensive land use plan, this area is designated as the commercial center place type. Primary land uses include retail, restaurants, multi-tenant commercial, and junior anchor commercial. The requested GB district met all of the approval criteria for the zone change. Staff recommends approval of the requested zone change, and the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 7-0 at the public hearing on July 7th. Thank you. That concludes staff presentation. I'll pass it back to you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you for that. Is the applicant present? Oh, I see Nick in the back. There you go. Nick, do you have a presentation?
Can we pull up those slides by chance?
Just make sure you give your name for the record and
Yeah,
move on.
Nick Modametti, representing 24 Acre Pearland Parkway LLC. Sorry, waiting for those slides. They're up there. Okay, great. Thanks so much. We are here tonight to ask for your support in approving our request for a rezoning of about 3.2 acres on Pearland Parkway near John Lizer. And I'll keep my presentation very brief. We're in complete agreement with what staff has said, and we're very excited that P&Z saw the same thing and voted 7-0 to approve it. But if I may, I'd like to show a couple of slides just to go through what we're talking about here. So as you see on the screen here, what we're proposing in a concept is essentially a retail centers fronting on Pearland Parkway. As you can see, we have about 2 curb cuts on the property, one near where Heaton Road is and the other up further north near Mary's Creek. This is just a concept plan, but essentially we would be proposing to have around 3 retail centers that run along the frontage, and the rest of it would be wooded and have what looks like the corridor overlay district in every other part of Pearland Parkway. So as staff outlined, as you can see, the adjacent zoning to us is GB on both our western boundary, our northern boundary, and the only portion of our property that is R1 is right behind us. However, we think the impact on the area is very minute, since that the majority of the property we're talking about here is already zoned general business. What we are really only doing is we are extending the depth of the general business and finishing the curve. So as some people who've been in Pearland know, when Pearland Parkway came through this area, it created relatively shallow general business tracks. And so what we're doing here is essentially bringing it up to what modern day general business looks like to allow for a higher quality development with parking both in the front as well as in the rear. So we think that the impacts are minimal while allowing us to create a higher quality development. So yeah, as staff also outlined, the future land use map on this property is commercial center, which is consistent with the request we're making. As you can see, the entire 24-acre tract that we own is actually proposed to be commercial center. However, we are only asking for the rezoning of the 3 acres you can see, recognizing that we agree that the remainder of the tract should remain residential to be consistent with the area and minimize the impacts on surrounding homeowners. And the last slide here is to just kind of walk through the distances. So we had a gentleman come by at the P&Z hearing and express some concerns. So what we've done is just show kind of how far we are from all the homes around us. So on our neighborhood, I guess, across Pearland Parkway, we're over 600 feet. Further south, we're about over 600 feet. Across Mary's Creek, over 1,000 feet. And then the closest home to us is still over 400 feet away. So we believe the impacts on any homeowner is very minute, given that we are separated by over hundreds of feet from any homeowner. And just to wrap it up, as I said, number one, we believe this zone change enables a higher quality development. We think it matches the surroundings in the area. We believe it's consistent with the future land use map. And lastly, there is strong existing infrastructure in the area. There are a public sewer and public water at the site, as well as a 4-lane boulevard. We are not planning to take access from John Lizer. All of access will be off of Pearland Parkway, which is already at sufficient width. So in sum, I hope you all will approve this request. I'm here to answer any questions, and I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you for that. We'll move to the public portion now. Those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request can go to the podium, give us your name. You have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Third and final time, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Seeing no one move in that direction, we will turn to the City Council for questions, comments, and concerns. Seeing none, we will close this public hearing and move to new business. New business item number 1. Mr. Carbone, would you place that on the table, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action. First reading of ordinance number 2000M-274. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had staff report. Any last opportunity for questions, comments from staff or from council? And I forgot to go back to staff for any wrap-up comments on the public hearing. We're all good there? All right. With that, Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right. Thank you for that. We'll move to new business item number 2. Ms. Chavarria, would you place that on the table, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, first and only reading of ordinance number 1648. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I see Mr. Roebuck here tonight. So Trent, staff report. And John, are you going to give a report on both of them at the same time?
Mayor, actually, all three of them. There's a permanent improvement.
Third one, yeah, right.
And refunding bonds, actually, Judge, y'all did a parameter order on that we sold today, and give the results of those, and also ask you to approve the items 2 and 3. Yes, sir.
So nothing further, Mayor. We're just going to hand it off to John to go through the results of the sale for certificates of obligation. First item tonight is on the general fund COs, and then the next item is the COs for the water and sewer enterprise fund projects. So at this point, hand it off to John. We also have with us Rick Whitty, our bond counsel as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Trent. Mayor, council members, John Roebuck, BOK Financial Securities. Good evening. We did go in the market this morning to sell bonds. As I always like to do, give you an overview of the bond buyer index. This is municipal snapshot of the municipal bond market, weekly average across the country. You'll notice on the far right, the blue line is a general obligation index. That's what we sold today. The general obligation, permanent improvement, and refunding bonds, and also the 2 series of certificates of obligation are considered general obligation bonds. It's at a 4.29%. Slightly higher than we showed you a couple months ago. It's about 5 basis points higher. The market has increased the last couple of weeks. The last 3 or 4 trading days, it's stabilized a little bit, come down a little bit, but we did get some interest from investors in the pre-marketing last week and early this morning, and so we do have the results to show you for those bond sales. This page is the summary of bonds that we did refund. We refunded $24.55 million in bonds for interest cost savings. We did 4 series of bonds: the permanent improvement bond series 2013, the certificate of obligation 2013, the permanent improvement and refunding bond series 2014, and then also the permanent improvement refunding bond series 2015. We picked and chose picked the bonds that generated at least 3% PV savings for the city, and those are the bonds that refunded. There still are some bonds of these series left outstanding that we could call later if rates come down further. Final debt service requirements for the permanent improvement and refunding bonds. Far left is your current debt service requirements, less the bonds that were refunded, the $24.55 million. That's the principal and interest there in the third column. And we replaced those with the refunding portion of this bond issue by selling $23,550,000, and we generated about $83,000 of savings per year for a total of $1,083,000 in savings over the life of the refunding portion. And then the next 2 columns are the new money portion, where we sold $9,850,000 in bonds to generate proceeds of $9,927,220 for the city. And then the resulting debt service after the sale of these bonds are there on the far right. From a source and uses fund standpoint, again, we sold $33,400,000 in permanent improvement and refunding bonds. It's broken up in the refunding and new money portion. For the refunding portion, again, $23,550,000 in bonds were sold. Investors were willing to pay a premium of $1.2 million. The lesser cost of issuance of $207,000 gets you the proceeds that we're going to deposit into an escrow account. And then about 3 days after we close, the bonds will be officially defeased, and those funds will be used to pay those bonds off. The all-cost true interest rate of the refunding portion was at 3.551%, compared to the average rate on the refunded bonds of 4.737%, generated the savings of $1,083,000 in bonds. A quick note, I'm going to go back one slide. We did not extend the maturity structure of the bonds we refunded. You'll see that they end all in 2038. This is purely an interest cost play to generate savings for the city. And then for the new money portion, we sold $9,850,000 in bonds, generated a premium of $169,000, less your cost of issuance of $91,000, generates the proceeds of $9,927,220 for the city. And these were a little longer in structure, so the average life was longer, So the all cost rate was a little higher of 4.96%. For the Certificate of Obligation Series 2025A, these are the general government projects that we funded. We sold $18.955 million in bonds to generate $19,288,489 in proceeds. Again, the far left column is the current debt with the results of the permanent improvement and refunding bonds, plus the principal interest and total debt requirements on the new Certificates of Obligation Series 2025 equals your resulting debt service, your ad valorem tax-backed debt service on the far right. Source and uses, again, $18,955,000 in certificates of obligation were sold, premium of $533,000, less cost of issuance of $200,000, generates the proceeds of $19,288,489 to the city. All cost to rate on this bond issue was a 4.838%, and again, a little shorter average life the way it was structured. The last bond sale is the 2025B certificates of obligation, and these are for the water and sewer related projects. There on the far left is the debt service that's payable by the water and sewer system. This is not ad valorem tax debt, this is the water and sewer system. And then the principal, interest, and total on the 2025B certificate of obligation, the next three columns, and the resulting debt service requirements for the water and sewer, payable by the water and sewer system, are there on the far right. Again, these bonds generated proceeds of $118,046,000 for the city. And for the source and uses, we sold $115,480,000 in bonds, net premium of $3.6 million, less cost of issuance about $1 million. Total proceeds equaled $118,046,000. And the all cost rate on this, again, a little longer average life, because the way we structured them, it's a 5.032%. I will point out, going back to the last slide, to minimize the rate increases, the water and sewer rate increases for your water and sewer users, we structured this a little differently, knowing that we have a CIP coming down the pipeline of some more debt for those projects. So we structured it a little more back-end heavy, just to provide some relief on the water and sewer rates. And that's why you have a higher all costs rate. You're paying a little bit more in interest costs because you're deferring some of that principal back to structure that debt. Then on the schedule of events, we've hit all these dates until the last two. We're here tonight to ask you to approve the sale results of the certificate of obligation 2025A and 2025B. Again, the permanent improvement and refunding bonds were framed to order, so y'all have already approved those. If y'all approve those, we'll have Mr. Whitty and his team work with the Attorney General to get them approved, and it will close on August 26th, at which point you'll receive your funds. With that, I'll be happy to answer your questions you have on the financing. Again, I'm sure
right.
Mr. Whitty will be happy to answer your questions you have on the ordinance strategy you approved tonight.
Good deal. Mr. Patel, go to you first.
Thank you, Mayor. Hey, John, can you go back to, I believe, slide, is it 3 or 4? Just for my curiosity, maybe it's 3, where it shows the savings. Yeah, right there in the yellow. That's the savings for reissuing these bonds, correct?
Correct. We're issuing new bonds to replace these bonds. That's correct.
And then in the following slide, you show the cost that's associated with this. So it's costing us $207,000 for reissuing and $100,000 from the other one, correct?
It's part of the proceeds of the bond sale, yes, sir. So we're issuing these bonds, and that's the net result of the savings.
So I guess $1,083,000, is that including the cost?
Yes, sir.
Net? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's after the cost that we're incurring to reissue these bonds?
Correct.
Okay.
And because we've teamed this up with a new money bond issue, those costs were reduced.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Mr. Carbone?
Thank you, Mayor. On this slide, you've got that issuer contribution. Typically, we don't see that.
On refundings, we do issue a contribution because we use this to offset the savings from next year. So we have no savings next year because we don't use savings next year.
And then one of the slides, I think it was slide 3, shows, maybe 2, it shows the bond that's maturing in March of 29 that we're refunding was like 4 1/8. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What was that? Just
have
for comparison, what was that sold at today?
That was sold at a 2.66%.
like that number.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's because it's 12 months out, or
Correct. It's yield curve, traditional yield curve, lower interest rates first year, and as you go down the yield curve through time, yields go higher. So the 30-year debt, the yield on a 30-year maturity is going to be much higher than a 1 year or 2 year maturity.
okay. All right, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Seeing no one move in that direction, Madam Secretary, we'll call the vote on item number 2 first.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye. Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, we'll move to item number 3. Mayor Pro Tem, would you present that, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, consideration possible action, first and only reading of ordinance number 1649. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional staff?
No
report?
additional comments, Mayor.
Any other questions, comments from council? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you all.
for Rick. Thank you for coming out. Thank you guys for coming out with our troop today. Thank you guys. All right. With that, we'll move to item number 4. Ms. Cade, would you present it, please?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-126. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. So this item is associated with the bond issuance by the Lower Kirby Pearland Management District. When that district issues and sell bonds, it requires the city council's consent. So the district intends to sell $7.2 million of water, sewer, drainage, and parks bonds to make reimbursements to developer expenditures within the district. The bonds include about $3.34 million to reimburse American Modern Green and the city for the park and the IB development, as well as $3.82 million to reimburse developers and the city for regional detention fees, land acquisition associated with the regional detention in the Lower Kirby area. So in total, the city is going to receive approximately $1.87 million of these bond proceeds, which we will in turn reimburse the Pearland Economic Development Corporation, as the corporation provided the funds up front to fund these projects we're getting reimbursed for. So per that reimbursement agreement with the EDC, we're passing these through the city back to the EDC. So that concludes the item, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that. Open it up for questions, comments from City Council. Seeing no one move in that direction, Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, moving forward, Mr. Fernandez, would you present 5, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, first reading of ordinance number 1633-1.
Second.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second, but before we get to staff report, I believe we have a speaker signed up for this one.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Lauren Fair? Did I say that right?
There we go.
All right. If you make your way to the podium and state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Lauren Fair. I am here with BGE on behalf of our client this evening. So just to discuss a component of the Thoroughfare Plan Amendment that's before you for consideration. So earlier this summer, BGE submitted a Thoroughfare Plan Amendment request to staff, which would essentially align the zoning ordinance for the Massey Oaks area and the TIA for this property with the Thoroughfare Plan. One of the requests was included this evening in your item, which removed the east-west collector between McLean Road and Harkey Road. However, the other request was not included. This request was to downgrade the extension of McLean Road south of County Road 100 from a major collector to a minor collector. Now, this would align the roadway classification of a minor collector that was approved with the zoning ordinance earlier this year in January. And just a kind of quick update on that, the PD amendment was submitted and approved by City Council in January of this year, which essentially brought in additional land to the overall Massey Oaks area. And the internal roadway to serve that development was shown as a minor collector on all of the zoning ordinance PD document exhibits. Thus, our residential design studies were based on the zoning ordinance. So this evening, we're just respectfully requesting a modified resolution prior to second reading that would include the roadway classification change to McLean Road, which would then correspond with the City Council approved zoning ordinance showing McLean as a minor collector south of County Road 100. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll move into staff report then. Pick those comments up.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the first reading of an ordinance to update our thoroughfare plan, as was just mentioned. We completed and accepted the updated mobility plan just recently, and that presentation and that recommendation also included updates to our thoroughfare plan. So our thoroughfare plan is part of the comprehensive plan. It designates existing and future roadways and the rights-of-ways necessary for the efficient transportation and mobility in Pearland. It also establishes right-of-way requirements for platting and capital projects as we move forward. So one of the major changes is the elimination of the connection of Orange Street to Hughes Ranch Road between Reed Boulevard and O'Day Road that previously traversed through a neighborhood. That's what I'd consider a major change in there. The presentation you saw previously took a look at all the other more minor changes, and it went through approval by P&Z on July 7th with a 7-0 vote. And we are recommending approval, but I do want to, I guess, ask Lorenzo and or Raj if they can weigh in on the comments we heard tonight, and if where we are on making that amendment before the second reading.
Is it okay? Good evening. Thank you. So the PD amendment, when PD amendment, the PD was done, I don't think there was any mention about major collector to minor collector. At that time, the existing thoroughfare plan showed major collector for McLean Road. And also today, when we did our analysis and reporting, that is still satisfied that the street should be major collector. That's why we are recommending major collector for McLean Road. But normally when we do PD, there is always presented, okay, this is what is in the document and why it needs to change from major collector to minor collector. And when we do PD, at that time, they don't do study to that level to satisfy that, oh, it is minor collector and major collector. That was just based on, okay, this probably works. But again, probably I did not pay much attention because I saw the line going east and north and south continuity. And that's why personally, I assume that was my mistake and my error, but to me, that should remain as a major collector to satisfy. Otherwise, I would recommend BG to come forward, do some analysis and justify and change that from major to minor collector if it can be justified. But for now, what we have studied and what our consultant has studied with funding, that shall remain as major collector. That's what I think it would make sense to continue that as major collector.
So if I could maybe summarize, Raj. So recommendation is to keep in the thoroughfare plan as a major collector. However, if BGE does some additional studies and provides some information for our consideration and review, then we would consider making it a minor.
That is going to be amendment to the thoroughfare, amendment to the amendment.
So we'd have to do that in the future, or?
Yes, sir. Because if we do that now, it is going to extend the time, and we don't have funding to realize that right now.
Okay.
Okay. Because I remember the conversation. I do remember the conversation around the thoroughfare plan when the PD amendment, the PD came in. This is the Ordno 2 track. When that came in, there was conversation about reducing that right of way. I would make sure that we give BGE clear marching orders on what's necessary to go and get the information to come back. I also see we shouldn't hold up thoroughfare plan amendments that we've got working right now to get done, but I would want to make sure that we give them clear marching orders if it's something council wants to see. So, but I do remember in the PD conversation when we approved that some time ago now, there was conversation, not only that one, but also east and west.
East-west, I clearly remember because we done some work on that one, and some detention pond and all those things has already been constructed. So it is.
Well, the comp plan called for, some mixed use in the middle, and that concept wasn't going to happen. So which reduced or removed the necessity to have that east-west thoroughfare coming through there. But
So I guess if there is information that BGE has at this point that they could share within the next couple of weeks, is that something we could consider before the second reading? If the information is already readily available and.
Yes, I would not say that is not possible, because what we want to see is like, okay, this has been planned as major collector street for several years, and still the study shows that it needs to be major collector. And if there's any supporting study that shows, okay, it doesn't need to be major collector, then I don't have anything to say against that, and probably we would bring it to council to adopt that as minor collector. But at this moment, since we already did all the necessary studies to justify major collector, my recommendation is to keep it major collector unless it is proven to change.
Okay, thank you.
all right, any other questions, comments from council?
Mayor, sorry. So I just want to understand this. The lady who spoke about this, who is she representing? The landowners?
She represents the landowners, correct?
Okay, this is the Ordno tract that got into the PD.
Right.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Carbone?
I was going to ask if this was the property that was posted for foreclosure, or is this a different parcel?
Different parcel. Any other questions, comments? Mr. Brown?
Trent, did I hear you correctly that P&Z voted unanimously in favor of the amendment?
Unanimously in favor of the plan that's presented to you tonight.
Tonight?
Yes.
Leaving it as a major collector?
Yes.
I don't think this came up at P&Z.
No, this did not come up at P&Z.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. Lauren, could you go back up to the podium, please? So my curiosity is, you asked for an amendment either tonight or I guess on the second reading, either one. Do you have a study or information that you could submit to the city prior to our next meeting in 2 weeks?
I'm sure we could gather, there's a lot of history behind this discussion between us and staff, so I'm sure, yes, we could gather information for you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we left it as is right now, and then at the second reading, if y'all had time to hash something out, then we could settle this at the second reading. So.
Yes, sir, we can coordinate with the staff.
All right, thank you.
So I would just say, it depends on how quickly we get the information, how easy it is to analyze and digest, but whether we could get it for the second reading. But if they provide it, we'll take a look at it for sure.
Well, I mean,
and then if we can't get it for the second reading, we can come back and amend
it at that time. But I mean, at least staff could be talking with them if.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be talking.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary will call for the vote.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Carbone,
Aye.
Member Chavadilla,
Aye.
Member Cade.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, Mr. Patel, would you present item 6, please?
Yes, sir. Considering possible action resolution R 2025-127. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item renews our agreement with Cigna for our healthcare plan and stop loss, dental plan, vision plan, and an employee assistance program. So basically, the major portions of our employee benefits when it comes to health. This is the last renewal, so we'll be issuing RFP in FY26 for future years. And of course, as we all know, the healthcare costs continue to increase. So we made a few plan adjustments to minimize the impact on our employees this next year. And so tonight we have with us from Hub International, who's our healthcare advisors, Mr. Andrew Herder and Wayne Parker, and they're going to walk us through the presentation on the plan. So I guess Yesenia is going to kick things off for them. So thank you.
Probably not going to help our health insurance plan with thoroughfare plan.
Okay. Good evening, Council. I'm sorry about that. We wanted to get the deck up. So thank you for having us out today. Wayne Parker with Hub International. So I'm going to do just a very short outline of what's kind of driving how we're getting to the proposed plan for the physical plan year 25-26. So for physical year 24-25 plan year to date through April, the city has experienced a 24.8% change in per capita for total health plan costs compared to the prior year of 23-24 of 1.2%. Medical claims experience has increased 27.6% compared to the prior year, fiscal year 23-24 at 3%. Pharmacy claims have also experienced an increase of 14.8% compared to the prior year of 23-24 at negative 4.7%. Year to date, there are 8 large claimants, over 75,000, accounting for 20.1% of claims, total claims cost. In comparison, large claims representative 9.5 of total claims in 23-24. And now with actually June data, the 8 has increased to 10 claims at now 22% of total claims cost. It's for these reasons that we regard the budget operating expenses for 23-24 are expected to increase revenues by a little over $1 million due to unfavorable claims experience. The city retains a reserve health of little over $3 million to help assist in covering these additional costs. The screen is the current 3 medical plans in place right now. So there will be one required IRS change on the HSA plan, The IRS minimum is now going to be $3,300 starting in 10/1/25, which is currently $3,200. So that is a requirement for one of the changes by the IRS. Then we're going to move into the proposed changes. So for the fiscal year 25 to 26, starting October 1st, we have the HSA plan change going from 3,200 individual to 3,300 individual, and the savings of that change about $3,400. Two additional changes that we're looking at for the Kelsey plans are increasing the out-of-pocket. For the Kelsey 90 plan, increasing the out-of-pocket $1,500 for each. The Kelsey 90, $2,500 for individual would be moving to $4,000 individual. The Kelsey 80 plan, the out-of-pocket moving from $3,500 to $5,000, and corresponding doubling that for family. Both of those changes provide savings of $374,000 for the Kelsey 90 plan and $127,000 for the Kelsey 80 plan. These follow benchmarkings that are in the region. So these changes kind of follow what other municipalities have been doing. So this is bringing the city more current with what's going on and providing savings to help with a continued claims cost. In addition to that, looking at an ER copay change on the Kelsey plans from $200 to $300. That is also one of the things that is benchmarked as a change that's been, and that change will generate about $45,000 additional savings. There's additionally a drug formulary recommendation moving from standard formulary to a value formulary. The primary effect of those changes will actually be the removal of over-the-counter medications. The current formulary does allow for over-the-counter medications, and what that will do is kind of stop those things. So someone could not go to over-the-counter for Flonase would be an example of something like that. Standardly, those are not covered. So this kind of, again, brings the city back in line with over-the-counter medications not being covered. Any other formulary changes will actually occur for 10/1 with Cigna, and they will notify anyone that are affected by that. So they'll send out letters. So this is a proposal for the 3-year budget for 26, 27, and 28. This is not inclusive of a potential high claimant with a laser. So these are the current budget rates for actives that they are right now for 24-25 plan year. So the funding by the city contributions is 84.14%. Benchmarking is 84 to 85%. So the city is in line with benchmarking for general funding. Then we move to the proposed for actives. You'll see that the proposed is still the city's contributions as at 84.1%. So we're falling in line. The proposed changes for the city is a 9.4% increase for the city and a 9.4% increase for actives. The green shows the changes for the active population. So this will be the outline of the monthly changes and an outline in the middle for per paycheck changes. The next slide here is the notation of the increase in the ISL budget. One of the factors they also looked at is the stop loss has not been, it's been high in revenues and low in payment. So one of the recommendations has been to increase the ISL factor from 150,000 to 200,000. This would not be inclusive of one laser, that large claimant of $1 million, but that claimant only will be applied as a laser if they actually perform the services, which is not determined yet. The individual will actually get the services. And lastly, these are just some of the projected. So continue fiscal year 25 projected claims are 7.5% for healthcare, that's medical, and about 11% for pharmacy. Administrative fees or stop loss fees, annualized. Then the 26 to 28 projected budget claims still continue to be projected at 7.5%. Administrative fees, no changes. And stop loss, the recommendation changed to move to the new 200,000 level from 150,000. And then the conditional laser that might occur. Adjusted premiums would increase by 9.4%. And then the fiscal year 27-28 rate increase of 5%. And an outline of the proposed retirees. These are the unblended retiree unsubsidized rates. There's been really no change in the rate factoring for the retirees, but they would also have the same 9.4% increase in cost. And this would apply to the rule of 80. So the Kelsey 80 plan would still be at no cost increase, I believe. Yes, and then the other Kelsey 90 plan is a 50%.
Thank you. So I think just to summarize real quickly, there's always pressure on medical insurance and the cost of medical. So we took a look at the different things we could tweak in the plan this year that affect the fewest amount of people and still help us mitigate some of those increased costs. So we wound up at that 9.5% ballpark cost increase. The contributions that we make for employees, we have always had the lowest plan we have, which is the Kelsey 80 Care, where we pay 100% of that for the employee only. And then our percentages off of that for how much we contribute for spouse, children, and family basically remains the same, with a portion of those increased costs being picked up by the city and a portion being picked up by the employees. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, we'll open up for questions, comments. Ms. Chavarria?
Thank you, Mayor. So I understand that we're increasing 9.4 for the employee contribution. What are they currently paying? What's their current rate for 25? Percentage rate.
So the actual amount they pay of the
For
so the city. So if you look at the Kelsey 80 Care employee only, the city's contributing 100%. If you add your spouse to the plan, the city's contribution is 63.86%. Basically, on that plan, we're right at about 64% as the city contribution for if you've got dependents on the plan.
And then the Kelsey 90 would be for employee 96.5% for the employee only, and employee spouse at 61.7%.
Thank you.
All right. Other questions, comments? Mr. Carbone?
Thank you, Mayor. In the presentation, you had a couple of comments around current benchmarks and inline. At some point, I think we need to look at what you're benchmarking against versus what other cities we're comparing salaries with, so that in total we're comparing apples to apples across the region. Or I'd like to see that, not tonight or this renewal, but going forward, to make sure that we're in line with our compensation package.
Yep. We can provide that.
And then also, you mentioned this laser. Can you expound on how that works and if it's going to kick in?
Okay. Under the stop loss that's being proposed from Cigna, there is a large claimant that's predicted, if they have the eligible treatment, that their spend would go from $1 million. Cigna's worked with us to make the laser. That means if it would be an $800,000 additional expense for that one that the city would bear, but they're making it conditional that they actually start the treatment. The member may not start the treatment in this fiscal year. It could be at some point in 2026. So we don't know whether the laser, but what it could mean is an additional $800,000 in claims to the city.
And claims to the city that would not be covered by any stop loss?
That's correct.
That particular one would be higher, subject to a higher stop loss, basically.
A higher stop loss layer, yeah.
So $800,000 higher.
Okay. I mean, that, if or when that occurs, that just hits our bottom line reserve.
Yeah, so we would work out of the fund balance for our medical fund initially, and then we would look to, how we look at that in future budget amendments and future budgets to bring that back up to the targeted fund balance percentage, which is about 25%. We're going to dip below that, and that would potentially get us below that further. But again, the fund balance and the fund balance policy for our medical fund, is kind of it's fund balance on top of our fund balance, general fund balance.
So we had a stop loss policy that kicked in at what, 150K?
Currently, yes.
We're coming up for renewal, and I guess the insurance company has some forward looking that this employee is going to be so expensive, they're completely backing out of even the stop loss coverage.
They've just increased the stop loss limit. Every normal large claimants starting in October would be 200,000, and this one would go to $1 million, so an additional 800,000.
So just to be clear, the 200 across the board, that was our choice based on cost and historical stop loss statistics. It's the one that's the separate stop loss that, yes, the insurance company basically said, this is what's required to move forward.
Okay. But if
they're going to make their money.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're headed. And so I guess if that whole treatment would have popped up and we would have blown through $1 million all in 1 year, then we would have been completely under the 200K stop loss or the 150K stop loss. But now the insurance company's basically saying, hey, y'all can take it on the chin. Cool. All right.
As long as we know the rules, right? Yeah. And then they change the rules mid game. I mean, that's the point. Any other questions, comments? Yeah. It's always a tough pill. Last year we got lucky. I'll just say it that way. With what I think you said 1.8, something like that.
Yeah, and I think we've had several years in a row where we've really been able to either completely mitigate any additional costs for our employees or keep them very, very low. And I think where we are this year to keep them at that 9.5% is pretty good from where we started when we started looking at these numbers earlier this year.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Yesenia and your staff working with these guys, obviously we're attacking this with a plan. So thank you for doing the work and the effort to work with us. This is never easy, and it's never easy on employees when we change the plan because it's something new, it's something different. As we're seeing, out-of-pockets and deductibles are going up a little bit. In some cases, maybe a lot compared to the employee and what they think, but it goes back to having coverage or not having coverage, and coverage that'll be there in the time that you need it. So thank you all for the work that you put into this. With that, Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Patel.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram.
Aye.
Member Koza.
Aye.
Member Carbone.
Aye.
Member Chavarria.
No.
Member Cade. Member Fernandez.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-2.
All right, with that, we're back to you, Mr. Koza. If you present item 7, please.
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R2025-129. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. So this item replaces basically half of our inventory of our self-contained breathing apparatus for the fire department, the air packs. The other half of that is scheduled for replacement in the FY26 budget. And both of those are part of our 10-year capital replacement plan that we implemented, I believe it was last year, starting ensuring that we have adequate funds to replace equipment in the fire department when it's recommended to be replaced, and also do those replacements without significant swings to our year-to-year budget. So we solicited these through multiple cooperative purchasing arrangements to get the best cost for the packs that we utilize that's compatible with our equipment that works with them. And we're recommending award to Metro Fire Apparatus Specialist in the amount of $863,384. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Any other questions, comments from council? Mayor Pro Tem?
I did have one question. In the write-up, it said that the current equipment we have is 15 years old. which is well beyond the recommended 8-year service life. But our plan is to turn these over every 10 years. Why go a little beyond the service life and not look at turning them over every 8?
It's a good question. So the way we have this set up is year 1 and year 2 of this plan is when we'll purchase the SCBA. So half now and half in year 2, which will be fiscal year FY26. So in the 8th year, we'll start that process again. So at the very end of year 8, the beginning of year 9 is when that would hit. So it's actually a 10-year plan, but that's how it streams out on there. So it keeps us within that time frame where we're not more than 2 generations off as far as our air packs. Where currently we have 4 different generations of air packs out there that lead us to different standards with the timing and the pressures that cause us to come out of a fire. And so you may have one crew that has to come out a little bit sooner than another crew because they have different levels or different time frames of air packs. Also with our mutual aid partners that we work with that are all also use the same brand that we do. We have that same consistency if we have them in the same standard.
So essentially, under this plan, we'll basically get to an 8-year rotation on 8-year equipment.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we'll do. So, long story short, over the previous decade, we were adding firehouses so fast to keep up with exponential growth that I've told the CMO several times, I use that analogy, that it's like skipping a rock. We were hitting those big things that we had to address. Now we're coming back and we're getting in between the skips and we're hitting those refined areas that we can and also smoothing that out so we don't have those big hits to the budget and to the city with a big ask of 1.8. We can smooth that out. That's our plan with that.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, we call for the vote.
Member Kosa?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, Mr. Carbone, if you present item 8, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, Resolution R 2025-115. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do have a speaker for this. I don't know if you're signed up just to answer questions. Who's the speaker?
Mr. Gomez from
From
Sewell. Or
Are you here just to answer questions? Okay. Okay, perfect. Good deal. All right. Thank you for being here. So with that, staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is for the purchase of 22 marked police vehicles. We priced these through multiple co-ops, and then we also bid these out recently on the open market. So we ensured we established the best costs through the different avenues we could go. So we settled in on going through the HGAC cooperative purchasing agreement, and Sewell was the low cost or best value provider through that. This will deliver the vehicles turnkey, so they'll have all their upfitting completed. The delivery on the 20 PD units is estimated at 12 to 14 weeks, and then we have 2 animal control vehicles, which have a much longer lead time on the equipment package, so those are about 10 to 12 months. So with that, we recommend award to Sewell for a little bit over $1.9 million.
All right. With that, we'll turn to council for questions, comments, concerns. Mr. Koza.
Thank you, Mayor. On page 3 of 122, it's the first time that I've seen where we have noted that the current vehicles that we have, we're gonna how we're gonna sell them, and that the money will go back into the motor pool fund. Could we get, once we do sell them, a report back to us via email of, what we sold, how much we sold, that type?
Yes.
Okay. And then I just have a question for Mr. Gomez. If you go to the podium, please.
Good evening.
Thank you for being here. Could you put up page 28 of 122, please? Yeah, if you could show, yeah, there we go. On this right here, over the last several, whether it was competitive bids or other cooperative purchasing, it seems like the discount that's offered on these vehicles has always been 3.5%. Is there ever any other discount other than 3.5? And not only with you, with any other dealership that has bid on it?
So it depends on the co-op that's provided. In the HGAC contract, the award to get the contract was 3.5% off MSRP.
Okay, and so that's you, any other dealership, it would be a 3.5% off MSRP?
No, sir, you had to have gone through the process to be able to be awarded in that contract in the co-op. And several dealers across the state have bid in that co-op, and only 2 or 3 actually get to participate in that contract.
Okay. And then as far as the discounts that are offered, is it always a discount off of MSRP?
No, sir. It depends on the co-op. In the HGAC and in TIPS contracts, they are a percentage off of MSRP. In the buy board, it is a cost plus, meaning it's a base price plus whatever option that you choose on the vehicle. On this particular bid, though, we actually went with a lower cost on how we originally bid the vehicles. We can utilize the HGAC bid, and as long as it's 3.5% of MSRP or lower, then we're able to utilize the co-op contract without having to go out with the RFP for new bid.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments from council? Mr. Carbone?
Yep. Whenever we get the memo about the disposition of the old assets, if you could also keep us in the loop in terms of the outfitting and the time to actually get the units on the street.
Good call. You get that, Trent? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so once we've gotten the vehicles in and we report back on what we've disposed of the excess inventory for, then we'll also provide what the time was to get the new vehicles in. Yes, sir.
And I guess outfitted and on the street, right? Seems like there's always a struggle sometimes to get them outfitted and done. So, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Nay.
The motion passes 6-1.
All right, back to you, Mr. Chavaria, if you would present item 9, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-108. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item awards a construction contract to add capacity at the Broadway and Pearland Parkway intersection. This was identified many years ago through a previous traffic management plan and mobility study that took a look at many of our intersections and prioritized added capacity at those intersections. So this follows several years after the successful implementation of southbound dual left turn lanes at this same intersection. So this particular project will add dual left turn lanes northbound on Pearland Parkway, as well as free right lanes, free right turn lanes at both north and southbound. It also, due to the reconfiguration of the intersection, will reconstruct the traffic signal to accommodate that new layout. We received 7 bids. The project is in budget, and we're recommending award to the best value and lowest cost bid to Metro City in the amount of just over $1.1 million. Thank you.
All right, any questions, comments? Mr. Carbone?
Thank you, Mayor. This, I assume, is similar to the improvements at Dixie Farm and 518. I'm hoping it's not the same contractor.
I don't believe so.
All right, and I guess can the contractor or staff speak to timing of the improvements? Is this going to happen during peak traffic, or I know at Dixie Farm it was done kind of at off-peak hours?
Yeah, so maybe we can cover what the working hours are, as well as what the time is for the overall project.
Right. Yeah, it looks like construction start time is August 2025, scheduled to wrap up February 2026. it'll be standard working hours, 8 to 5. Most of it's going to be, we may have some lanes to reduce, but honestly, I think most of the intersection improvements, you may see minimal impacts with traffic just because of where those improvements are going to be on the outside lanes, or I'm sorry, on the interior lanes.
Okay. So, I mean, I lived at a Dixie Farm in 518, and that was pretty rough, and they tried to do the timing right, and so here it looks very similar. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Fernandez?
Thank you, Mayor. Trent, were you able to get an answer regarding the new left-hand turn lane from Pearland Parkway onto Broadway westbound? How far that lane is going to go back? Pearland Parkway?
Yeah, so have an answer on that, but I had a couple more questions. I wanted to round out that answer. But basically, there's a median opening just south of there that really precludes us from taking those back any further. So, I mean, we are doing the dual left, so it doubles the capacity of that. But with that median opening just south of there, bringing them back any further in length is not really feasible. And then we're also taking a look at that median opening there as well, because we have had some issues with that median, and there's pros and cons to dealing with that would potentially allow us to extend those, but it's not part of this contract.
Okay. If you do get any updates, can you pass that along? All right. Thank you.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
Going back to Member Carbone's question about timing, so this free right, this added left, and an additional free right on the southbound side, they're going to be able to get all that done in 6 months. Does that include the traffic signal updates as well, or is that just the road work?
So yes, that's the expectation based on the project timeline.
Including the traffic lights and everything else?
Right.
So I think I would throw a caveat out there is that typical lead times on traffic signals vary widely and sometimes are very extensive. So if there's issues with supply on traffic signals, there could be some delays on the actual signal itself. But it is required within the current contract to be done within the time that Mr. Wingate talked about.
The traffic signal is what concerned me, because the lead time on the Friendswood Hastings expansion, I know there's a lot more going on there, but traffic signal was a big consideration there as well. So I guess in that scenario, if we get the roadway ready to open, but we can't get the lights, we can put some sort of temporary lighting up like they did a little further down Dixie Farm previously or something. I mean, we don't want lanes that don't have light. Right?
And we'd probably just have to leave those new lanes closed till we
barricade them off.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, in other words, let's order the lights tomorrow. Mr. Koza?
Lorenzo, on Dixie Farm, would it be fair to say that some of the issues we had was AT&T's lines that went either underneath or next to the road there on Dixie Farm?
Right. We ran into some utility conflicts at that intersection and then challenges also with that contractor.
Okay. Was it only AT&T or were there others that we had issues with?
No, my recollection is it was AT&T primarily.
Okay. So on this intersection, what utilities do we have, or is AT&T in this alleyway?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that you still have all your regular utilities. AT&T is gonna be there. In most cases, we coordinate prior to construction with those utility companies, but by the time you start construction and open things up, it's almost a free-for-all once you get there.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I guess with Country Club here on the opposite side of Liberty, we had the luxury of postponing it, and AT&T got a head start, so they weren't an issue with that. But it seems like every time we run into something, AT&T is an issue with dragging their feet on getting things done.
Right.
So when you do find that, if you'd let us know, if they are in the easement, just so we know kind of what we're looking at. Because I mean, 6 months, Dixie Farm took a lot longer than 6 months.
If AT&T has to redesign something, it may be 6 months just to redesign something.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and they're pretty insensitive on.
They're notorious for that.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, just to
Carbo?
beat a dead horse. So further up north on the map, Pearland Parkway, the Shallow Creek Drive intersection, and I inquired about that November 21st of 2023, and it's still not fixed because we don't have the right pedestrian buttons or cabinets or controllers. And now we're going to rebuild this whole intersection and be done in 6 months. I'm going to struggle with that, and sure as hell struggle defending why that's been out of commission and not working correctly for 2 years. Yet we're going to go blow up a whole intersection and expand it and rebuild it from mass to everything. So if they can pull it off, then maybe we should have them go rebuild that light real quick at Shallow Creek.
Mr. Cousin?
Thank you. So the representative from Metro, we do have somebody here, is that correct? If you could step to the podium.
Council members, my name is Luis Perez, Construction Manager for City of Pearland Capital Improvement Projects. Metro City cannot be here today for family reasons. They called about an hour before the council session. If you guys need any specifics on the project, I'd be happy to give you more information.
All right. No, I was going to ask them a question, but that's okay.
Still.
Has Metro done work for us here in the city?
Absolutely, sir. They recently got awarded a relocation for also a sewer line. Also, Metro City has done previous work for the city in the past with similar scopes, also for surrounding cities like Houston, Membo, and others around the area.
So can I ask you a question? Because obviously everybody has concerns. Their work quality, has it been performed in time or do we have issues with them?
They've been actually in time. Minor delays, but nothing as a major concern. Actually, when we bid this project, our concern was Dixie Farm in 518. We didn't want to repeat the same issue. Our main concern was time, have the best value as a contractor, and also someone that was responsible and can deliver our very tight timelines, especially for such a busy intersection.
And I'm assuming we have a pretty strong delay penalties in there for them?
It's about $1,000 on liquidated damages.
Per day?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I will say out of 6 bidders, I like the bids. We got six bidders, good companies, 4 of them within $130,000 of each other. So that tells me the bids are good and strong. So I like that moving into it. With that, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Chavarria?
Aye.
Member Cade?
No.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
No.
The motion passes 5-2.
All right. With that, number 10, Mr. Byron, would you present it, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, consideration possible action, resolution number R2025-99, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item awards a supply contract for chemical reagents, instrumentation, and lab supplies for Pearland Water. These are used in all of our water and wastewater plants. We recently bid these supplies out and received proposals from 5 companies on a best value basis. And based on the scoring criteria, we're recommending awarding a primary contract to Hatch, who also provided the lowest cost, and then a secondary contract to Midland Scientific for items that were not bid by Hatch. So it's a unit supply contract, so we only pay for what we actually use under the contract, and we're recommending award in the estimated annual amount of $578,000. Thank you.
All right. Open up for questions, comments from council. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Carbone,
Aye.
Member Chavadia,
Aye.
Member Cade, Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel. Motion passes 7-0.
All right, moving to number 11, Ms. Cade, would you present that, please?
Yes, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-125, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to talk about item 11, 12, and 13 together, and then we can answer any questions and go through them. They're all associated. So they're all associated with and necessary to implement our interlocal paving work that we do every year with Brazoria County. So Brazoria County, under this interlocal, provides the labor as well as the equipment and the traffic control to do our paving that we do with them each year. The interlocal here indicates, or what's included in the interlocal is we're going to do Roy Road from the city limits to Broadway, Veterans Drive from Magnolia to Bailey, and then Old Chocolate Bayou Road from Broadway to Cullen, and Plum Street from Schleider to Main Street. So this item actually establishes the interlocal with the county. The next item is a contract with PaveCon to actually come in on these same streets and do the base repairs necessary on those streets to ensure that the paving efforts we do with the county are effective and as long-lasting as possible. And then the third item is for the actual contract for purchase of asphalt materials that the county will lay down as they do their work. And we do that through the county, through the interlocal with the county on all their supply contracts. So, you know, you get the buying power of the county and what they bid out across the entire county for the cost of the asphalt material we purchase. So that is the third item associated with this. So with that, we recommend approval of the interlocal. Thank you.
All right, so item 11, any questions, comments from council? I will state, just for the record, it's glad to see the county continuing to do this. For those who are watching in and are present tonight, you pay a road and bridge fee, you know, as part of your taxes with the county. And I will tell you, not every county does this. And so our county is gracious to work with all the cities in their areas. So some dollars are coming back into the city for roadways that at one point in time, the county probably built these roads, you know, 60, 70 years ago or longer. And we've annexed them over the time, and they're here to help, you know, put those dollars back into our city. So I think we've been having this arrangement 35 plus years now, maybe longer. So it's been good, and it's been welcome to see our county work with us. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for that vote.
Member Cade,
Aye.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram, Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Carbone,
Aye.
Member Chavadia.
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, we're going to move to item 12, but before we do, Mr. Koza, I think 12 and 13.
Yes, Mayor, I need to recuse myself according to state law and city ordinance in regards to the ethics. Both these companies, my company deals with, and I need to recuse myself from the vote.
Good deal. All right. With that, Mr. Fernandez, if you would place item 12 on the table, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2025-123, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had staff report. Trent, anything additional? This is just a material, or the
base repairs,
base
yes,
repair.
with PaveCon. Yes, sir.
All right. No other questions, comments? Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Carbone,
Aye.
Member Chavadia,
Aye.
Member Cade.
Aye.
The motion passes 6-0.
All right, Mr. Patel, same thing. Item 13, please.
Yes, Mayor. Consider impossible action, resolution number R 2025-124, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Same thing. Any last minute questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, we'll call for that vote.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza, Member Carbone,
Aye.
Member Chavadia,
Aye.
Member Cade,
Aye.
Member Fernandez.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Go ahead and ask him to come back in. That was quick. With that, we'll move to item 14. Darren will read the whole caption in. Mr. Carbone, would you just make the motion then?
All right. Yes, thank you, Mayor and council members. I'll read this item into the record and then address any questions you may have after that. So recommend a motion by the City Council to approve resolution number 2024-62.1. That is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pearland amending resolution to number 2024-62, authorizing the power of eminent domain to acquire fee title to certain property for public facility improvements related to public safety training, municipal office space, and other municipal services. All of that certain tract or parcel containing 20.35 acres of land situated in the HTMB-RR Company Survey, Section 19A 243, Pearland, Brazoria County, Texas, being all of a called 20.3472 acre tract of land conveyed to SA 2011 LLC, as described in a deed recorded under Brazoria County Clerk's File number 2013002026 in the official records of Brazoria County, Texas, for the construction and maintenance of public facility improvements on certain real property described herein, and authorizing the city attorney or his designee and other officials to take such actions as are necessary to acquire said property located within the city by donation, purchase, or by the exercise of power of eminent domain.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report?
Yes, Mayor, council member, this is a resolution, since it's amending a prior resolution, the prior resolution the council did authorize us to file an eminent domain action in this matter. And we're still in the throes of that process, and we have some hearings coming up soon, as a matter of fact, in this. This is an attempt to go ahead and amend this resolution to provide additional clarity moving forward in those proceedings. And so just asking council to amend it accordingly with a little bit more specificity with respect to what those public facility improvements are. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns from council? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chevadia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 6-1.
All right. With that, we'll move forward in our agenda to other business. There are none. Air Council issues for City Council discussions. There's no items listed. We do have executive session under Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, deliberation regarding ratification of the city manager's appointment of a court administrator. We have Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations, and Section 551.071, consultation with city attorney for legal advice related to property development regulations. We do have a possible action on the court administrator to come back to. We will adjourn into exec session at 8:13. returned from executive session at 9:45 p.m. With that, we'll move to new business continued. Mr. Carbone, do you have a motion on number 15?
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, ratification of the city manager's appointment of a court administrator. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had our questions. Madam Secretary will call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, we will move to adjournment at 9:46. And I've had a special request from Ms. Chavarria to place item 6 on the table. You'll do that?
Thank you. Consideration and possible action, City Council selection at large position for advisory boards and commissions recommendation committee. So move.
Second. Sorry.
And then, Mayor, I would like to nominate Councilmember Patel to serve at large on this advisory board committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, good deal, good deal. With that, we'll move forward in our agenda. Other business, there were no other issues listed here. Mayor, council issues for council discussion, there are none. We do have an executive session under Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, deliberations regarding the legal department's mid-year transitional reassignment of duties. So with that, we will move into executive session at 8:43.